guys, welcome back to the Rev Too Late Racing channel. This week is gonna be a whole bunch of fabrication and a few random things thrown in between. So I've got this pipe right here, and this is the 1.88 OD pipe that fits for the wastegate. So I'm gonna take this pipe, cut it about probably that length, cut a hole in this 90 right here, and then get that welded like that on each side. I finally got to a point where it is pretty close to being able to weld it, where I can cut out the section. So I can cut out the section like that to give you an idea of what I'm doing here. But this is the passenger side wastegate pipe, and that is the angle that goes right up to the turbo where it sits here. You see in the last videos, but it's gonna sit just like that, and it's gonna point the wastegate towards the middle of the car on both sides. So I'm gonna take these off, and I'm gonna cut out the section like you see here. I cut out that crazy oval. So I don't have exactly the right tools to do this, but it turned out pretty good. I cleaned out the edges pretty good with some sandpaper so it doesn't cut anybody, but it sits in there pretty good. So the guy that's welding it, it's got plenty of room to put a little nice bead of welding around there. But I'm gonna work on this one, get it the same way as that one, and then these will be ready to go. I got all the fabrication done for the wastegates and the 90s for the turbos. All this hot side stuff was a huge pain, but I got it and gave it to my welder, and he tacked it up exactly how I asked him to. And I started fitting it up for I was hoping for the last time. Got this string out, and the string is completely level. I just measured on each side, and I figured out that this turbo is a 1/4 inch higher, or I guess angled up, than that one. I don't know if you guys can see it in the video, probably not, but it's pretty noticeable in person. What I think we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut the welds off of this 3 inch to 2.5 inch reducer, and then take a belt sander and just as even as possible, just trim off the front side of this 3 inch 90, and then leave the back side, and then weld this reducer back on to where it would take the turbo and then angle it down a little bit to match this side. So I'm gonna work on doing that now, get that done tonight hopefully, so he can get that done tomorrow. I'm trying to get this thing running by May 1st. I don't know when this video is gonna come out, probably sometime this week. So I'm really working really hard because I need to get this thing done by May 1st. I placed a lot of bets with my buddies, and they're giving me a hard time. So I'm gonna get that stuff taken off. All right, got them off. Took a little bit of time, but finally got the welds off there. So I got them labeled for each side. He said he's gonna be able to weld them up tomorrow, get those done. So hopefully it'll be tacked right as of tomorrow. We can do the final fit up, make some measurements. Hopefully it's all good. And then I'll be able to start. I got a bunch of piping for the cold side of going from the turbos down to the intercooler. And so then I'll put the turbos up here and then measure those, get that fab work done. It's gonna go through the core support right here into the intercooler that'll sit right in here. So I'll get both of those fabbed up so we can weld those. And there'll be one 3 inch charged pipe, I think is what they call it. Goes from the top of the intercooler right here to the intake port that'll be right here. So guys, great news. The turbos are finally done, and the hot side is finally all welded together. We ended up figuring out that we just needed to do all the fab work and the tack welding with the pipes on the car. We should have done that in the first place, but anyway, we figured it out eventually. We got all the full beads welded on all of the exhaust. I ended up taking this pipe off and shortening it a little bit so it matches that one. And they're not exactly perfectly mirrored, but they're pretty dang close. So we're gonna leave it like that. I end up getting my intercooler mounted up, and then I did get in the mail just the other day a bunch of stainless piping. This is the 3 inch stainless 304 piping, and I even got the 3 inch V-bands. So these will go right on the back side of the turbo here, and then those will be V-band. Now I'm thinking I'm just gonna go straight out and then 45 it to the middle of the car. Is that a smart idea? Probably not. But anyway, for now, I'm gonna get those cold side pipes fabbed up. Then it's gonna go down to those 2.5 inch ports on each side. So we'll get those fabbed up so my welder can get those done. And hopefully we can get all the fab work done this week because I plan on starting this thing up this weekend. All right, so spent like multiple hours getting these two fabbed up. Turns out making 3 pieces to go from that turbo to that intercooler is dreadful, but they're both done. This one is the driver's side, that one is the passenger side. I got the couplers here, those are ready to go. So I am going to build the charge pipe. You can see I already got one piece cut off because all I did was take a straight section, just cut the angles for each one. It's like, I figured out it's like a 15-degree angle between those two. And then all the cold side will be done. Cross your fingers. I don't know what else there could be. But then all I gotta do is, I already have a piece of section for one side of these. So I just gotta order the other one. And then I'm gonna build the exhaust like I explained earlier. And then all the fabrication should be done other than little bitty things. Not gonna lie, that whole time when I was filming that clip, I was fighting off a perp. Okay guys, surprisingly, the fabrication for this pipe only took me about 15 minutes to get that all done. Unlike all the other fabrication that literally took me hours to do. But I got the angles all welded, the 15-degree angle difference to make up between the intercooler and the intake there. But this thing is done. The gaps are really good. I think they're gonna be nice and easy to weld. And I'm gonna start working on the exhaust now. That shouldn't be too hard because it should only be a couple cuts. But that's how every single one of these fab projects have gone. They've only started out with a couple cuts and they ended up taking hours. All right guys, we did a little rearranging, but I got my exhaust pipes all cut. This section is gonna come out, just extend it a little bit, out like that. And then these 45s are gonna come off that straight section and just go like this. It's gonna be big and obnoxious, but so my buddy that knows how to TIG weld is about to show up here in hopefully like 10-15 minutes. He just got off work, and we're gonna weld those exhaust pipes on each side. And then this charge pipe, I also got my wastegate pipes in, so all I gotta do is cut those to the right length, and then we'll weld those on the flanges, and then hopefully all the fabrication will be done. We got the first section of exhaust tacked on there. I don't know, I think we should just leave it like that. It looks cool, but we're gonna get this 45 welded on there like this, or just tacked on there, and then hopefully it looks good. All right guys, it looks amazing. The fabrication is all done. The exhaust is ridiculous, but it is ridiculously awesome. So that is all welded. My wastegate pipes are all welded. That looks disgusting right now, but I'm gonna sand that down and paint it almost to a point where we can start it up. I'm finishing the turbo drains. Just gotta put that fitting on there. This one's already done. I gotta run coolant lines for the turbos down to those fittings and finish up the wiring, and this thing is ready to start. But that is gonna be for the next week's video. So come back next week and see what I tear up. Thanks for watching, guys.